Hello, Taurus. This is your personal horoscope for December 2023. As we start the month, definitely the main focus is on Sagittarius, and that's not unusual for this time of year. That's pretty typical, actually. We've got not only Sun in Sagittarius, but also Mars, and both Sun and Mars are kind of the most energetic planets, if we can call them that, in astrology. So they're really showing a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm in Sagittarius. And for you, Sagittarius is your eighth house. That means that you've got a lot of energy and enthusiasm regarding your finances right now, financial situations. I'm talking about any kind of bank account, credit card, stocks, bonds, inheritance, taxes, any kind of shared allocated resources, like maybe between you and a roommate, anything having to do you owing anyone else money, or any kind of person or institution owing you money. It's shared resources, stuff like that. So in all of these areas, you may be more ambitious, more focused, you've got more energy. There may just be more general developments in this type of area for you, especially in the beginning part of the month. All right. However, Mercury, as we start the month, is actually already in Capricorn. Capricorn is your ninth house. So that means that you're really learning a lot. You're focusing on answering the bigger questions. You may be spending more time in school or wherever you go to ask the bigger questions and learn about philosophy, metaphysics, things like that. So could definitely be like the university or school. Could also have to do with like the church or anywhere you go for the higher answers. All right. But whatever area that is in, you may be more, maybe busier, learning more, as well as, asking the bigger questions, etc. All right. So that's generally the focus for the inner planets. The only inner planet we haven't covered yet is Venus. Excuse me. As we start the month, Venus will be in Libra for a few days. This is your sixth house, so not a bad place to have Venus. Sixth house has to do with health and lifestyle, well-being, things like that. So having Venus there, that means that you may be really enjoying just kind of working on yourself. Maybe, any kind of changes you want to make with your nutrition, like diet, lifestyle, exercise, things like that. That's generally the focus as we start out the month. However, that will change as Venus will enter Scorpio early in the month. We'll talk about what all that means. And then very late in the month, Venus will actually make it all the way to Sagittarius. So I'm going to talk about all that and more. And specifically, I want to give you some key dates on some events that will be affecting you this month. So the first one we've actually already talked about. That would be Friday, December 1st. This is the day where Mercury leaves Sagittarius and enters Capricorn. This is generally pretty cool for you. Capricorn is your fellow earth sign, so it's an energy that you can embrace. You can handle Capricorn energy pretty readily. It's pretty similar to Taurus. Mercury in Capricorn, for one, you may be busier as we start out, going into this first part of the month. But also specifically, again, Capricorn is your ninth house. So you may be busy just in every area of life, but especially anything having to do with learning, researching, teaching, reading, writing, speaking, communicating. Also just busy, maybe like studying, busy with higher learning, maybe more interested in, philosophy, metaphysics, what else? Physics, science, however you answer the bigger questions and things like that. Mercury is kind of bringing that mental energy, that energy of busyness for you in that part of your life moving forward. Going ahead to December 4th, this is the day where Venus leaves Libra and enters Scorpio. So now Venus is in your opposing sign. On the one hand, this can be a bit of a drag because, Venus is as far away from you as possible. Venus is also in detriment now in Scorpio, and Venus is your ruler, right? So having your ruler in detriment as well as far away from you as possible, it means that you are kind of disconnected from that Venus energy. And that can be painful because Venus tends to make things very fun and pleasurable and, abundant and such. So on the one hand, there could be that disconnect between you and your own kind of pleasure or abundance. It may be more difficult to connect with these types of things. You may have to think outside of the box. So, find pleasure in something that you maybe wouldn't usually think of it, or look to a new way. Find some maybe an unusual or provocative kind of pleasure or satisfaction, right? Another way you can connect with the satisfaction is through your relationships, because Venus in Scorpio is sort of like your seventh house, right? Scorpio has to do with relationships for you. So although Venus is not bestowing her abundance and pleasure directly on you, she's more bestowing those types of things on those people that are close to you in your life. So whoever you have a kind of partnership with, whether that's a romantic relationship, a business partnership, a best friend, a family member that you're super close to, Usually it's like a really close one-on-one relationship though. So whatever those types of relationships are for you, that's where you're going to get your pleasure from more so as we get further into December. Okay. Another way of looking at this is that whoever those people are in your life, they may be more charismatic moving forward. They may be more optimistic, or, they're having the pleasure kind of shining directly on them going forward. So basically, to sum that up, although the pleasure is not like affecting you so directly, you can enjoy it still vicariously through your relationships. All right. Going ahead to December 6th, this is the day where Neptune turns direct. Neptune is in Pisces. It's been there for years. This is your 11th house. So how do I put this? Neptune turning direct, it means that its energies are coming back online. They're affecting us in a more visceral, literal, kind of physical type of way. Neptune can make things foggy, delusional, confusing, but Neptune can also bring about kind of bursts of enlightenment or, spirituality as well. Neptune turning direct in your 11th house means that when it comes to your networking, your community, what else? Networking, any groups that you're a part of. This could also affect online activity. All of these areas, expect the unexpected moving forward. Expect that potential confusion or delusion. You could have paranoia with these types of networking and group activities. But you could also have delusions of grandeur. So either believing that things are worse than they are in those areas, or believing that things are better than they are in those areas. I would say just use discernment and just kind of check yourself. Anything having to do with group activities, online activities, networking, just make sure that you are being grounded, and maybe just kind of, run a filter of some kind of logic or analysis to make sure that your perceptions are accurate in that area. Because Neptune's very confusing. It's a difficult energy, in my opinion. Going ahead to December 12th, this is the day where we have a new moon at 20 degrees Sagittarius. Again, Sagittarius is your 8th house, right? And a new moon, just like it sounds like, it's a new beginning. A new beginning in your 8th house. This could indicate a really great time for, think about what are your intentions involving your finances, involving your investments, your commitments, your obligations, any debts that you have. Well, any money that you owe other people, as well as money that other people owe you, right? Or institutions. This could be a really great time for reevaluating those dynamics, those relationships, maybe thinking of new investments to make, or maybe thinking of ways to change your current investments, etc. I really encourage you to kind of think over all of these areas, okay? That's pretty much it. Going ahead to December 13th, this is the day where Mercury turns retrograde at 8 degrees Capricorn. This will affect you a little bit more than the typical sign, just because, again, Capricorn is a fellow Earth sign. Also, since Capricorn relates to your 9th house, this is kind of the top of the chart for you. So it's a very public part of your chart. What this means, with Mercury turning retrograde here, this means that you may be reevaluating your beliefs going forward. Not just your beliefs, metaphysics, again, science, religion, philosophy, all that stuff. You may be kind of having some very deep thoughts and rethinking many of your beliefs, but also you may be kind of rethinking or reevaluating your relationship to learning itself. So are you a student? You're at least a student of life, right? But are you literally a student, or are you learning this or that topic, or are you learning about your world in some way? Because if you are, you may be reevaluating all that. Can I learn in a better way? Is what I'm learning of value? Is it meaningful in my life, right? These are the types of things that may come up moving forward. Also, beliefs or information from the past may be kind of brought into light, maybe in a different light, not only on December 13th, but also moving forward for you. Jumping ahead to December 21st, this is the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. It's the summer solstice in the southern hemisphere. It's also the day where Sun leaves Sagittarius and enters Capricorn. So again, Capricorn is a strong sign for you. It's your 9th house. It's a fellow Earth sign. So having the Sun move into that fellow Earth sign, the Sun is going to begin trining whatever placements you have in Taurus. Sun is starting to trine those placements as it moves into Capricorn. So this is good. This is strong energy for you. You may feel especially strong over the next month or so. And again, with the Sun entering the 9th house, this means an increased focus on your higher learning as well. Your beliefs, philosophy, metaphysics, astrology could be a part of that. Whatever, however you make sense of your world, basically. That is increasingly the focus with sun entering that part of your chart. December 23rd, this is the day where Mercury does pretty much the opposite of what the sun just did. Mercury is retrograde, it's in rewind, so it's actually leaving Capricorn and entering Sagittarius again. So for all of us, we've got some unfinished business in Sagittarius. For you, Sagittarius involves it. For you, it has to do with those financial agreements, investments, shared resources, etc. So there may be a need to rethink or reevaluate these aspects of your life. Have you made good investments? There could be information coming from the past on, maybe investments that you made in the past that you are now seeing in a different light, or gaining information on, a new perspective on. This can be unsettling because this is affecting a part of your life that, you would typically like to keep stable, right? Like any of us, we rely on those investments and commitments. We want those to be stable. But unfortunately, well, it seems unfortunate, but it's not necessarily unfortunate. Unfortunately, you may have to rethink these aspects of your life. The reason why I say it's not truly unfortunate is because over the next couple weeks, as you re-examine and maybe get some new insight or perspective on your investments and finances, this is what's going to enable you to perhaps make better investments, or maybe kind of transform your current investments in some kind of new way. It could also have to do with the reallocation of resources. So for example, any kind of like roommate you have, or any kind of significant other that you may share resources, all of that, you may be kind of rethinking, how can we tweak this or that? How can we change this dynamic? Are your investments working for you? Is everything balanced? Are you contributing? Are the people in your life contributing as well? This is a time for rethinking all of that. It may be uncomfortable, but this is what's necessary to build bigger and better investments for you. Okay, December 26th, we've got a full moon in Cancer at 4 degrees. I always say a full moon is not just about the moon. It's an opposition between the moon and the sun, right? So in this case, moon at 4 degrees Cancer opposing the sun at 4 degrees Capricorn. It's highlighting that Cancer Capricorn axis. For you, this is highlighting your third ninth house axis. The third ninth house axis has everything to do with branching out and learning about your world. Okay. So with the full moon in that area, for one, it's just going to be a very active full moon for you. You may be very busy. There could be short distance travel, long distance travel. You may be learning a lot. You may feel like you're kind of spread out everywhere. You may have a lot of different connections, different people that you're associating with, different people that are giving you new light, new information, new angles on different things, right? There could also be a push and a pull between these two opposing parts of your life. So third house more is a kind of mundane house. It has to do with like your regimen, your routine, people you see on a daily basis. It's a very casual part of your life, right? So there may be activity in that part of your life, but it's kind of opposing the ninth house, which more has to do with the higher learning and deeper type of it's a deeper part of your life. So you may feel kind of this push and pull. Do I involve myself more locally? Do I involve myself more far away somehow, or with some kind of long distance travel, etc. So it's hard for me to pin down because the third and ninth houses are so far reaching and multifaceted in their nature. So that's basically how this full moon is going to be for you. You're going to feel kind of scattered, if that makes sense. Very busy, but it's definitely a potential opportunity for you to learn a lot. All right. Going ahead to Friday, December 29th, this is the day where Venus leaves Scorpio and enters Sagittarius. I think this is good for you, honestly, because again, with Venus and Scorpio, Venus was not only opposing your Taurus planets, Venus was as far away from your Taurus placements as possible, but also Venus was in detriment as well. And having your kind of ruling planet in detriment, for much of this month, you may have felt kind of out of your body, a bit alien, a bit awkward. So this dissipates dramatically as Venus enters Sagittarius. Venus is now transiting your 8th house. So Venus is bringing that abundance, that joy, that pleasure to your finances, to your investments, to those shared resources. So that's actually potentially pretty cool. You may have some kind of new abundance in this type of area, new pleasure, new abundance. Maybe it's just part of how you've been rethinking those investments and resources. So perhaps somewhere in that process you found maybe a new way, a new investment, or some kind of new abundance. And this will stay true, for the rest of Venus's transit through Sagittarius as well for you. Okay, so yeah, definitely not the worst place to have Venus in the chart. Last thing I want to mention in this forecast or horoscope is Jupiter turning direct at 5 degrees Taurus. This is your own sign, right? So you're going to feel this more than maybe even any other sign at all. I think this is actually really cool. With Jupiter turning direct in your own sign, you're going to feel an abundance of Jupiter's energy moving forward after December 30th. So this is great because Jupiter is the great benefic, right? Jupiter brings expansion, abundance. It makes things generally pleasurable. You may feel more adventurous, more optimistic going forward after December 30th. Honestly, I'm just going to leave it at that because I think that sums it up. So I don't know, to summarize that, it definitely looks like a multifaceted month for you. And honestly, it looks a little bit heavy. There's good parts, there's bad parts, but I think you're really reevaluating a lot of your investments and reevaluating many of your beliefs, as well as things having to do with money for you this month. So a lot of heavy stuff, but there's also a lot of potential for growth for you, and that can be really exciting. But that's pretty much what I have for you. Thank you for watching, and have a great month. I wish you the best of luck.